CJ. Yeah, what we talking about? 94 feet, crossover bodies dropping J's up. Players this elite, your shots on body blocking halftime. We break it down, we gon' call your bluff, it's past time. You recognize, boy, press. We got the heat down in Florida with the keys. Guess we the best, magic, we flash with them fans listen, won't see the best. Show rise from the airwaves like all stars in them stairways. Local rockin', we not stopping, got hot topics like every day. Them trades hit that deadline, my team chasing the big range, we ball, check that headline. Don't mess it up when you big teams, the only station giving y'all that info with that real talk. Don't be trying to contest it, go toe to toe and get wheeled off. We shooting from deeper than that report from the bleachers. If you ain't on your game, then we got something to teach you. Tie your laces up, might get shook up out of them sneakers. That triple threat, bless your eardrum straight out of your speakers. Go from that black top to the hardwood, locker room to that press day. Got the scoop on them contracts, new prospects and best plays. NBA defined by the grind, in between the lines, full court pressing, finessing, read the signs. What we talking about? 94 feet, crossover bodies dropping J's up. Players this elite, your shots on body blocking halftime. We break it.
What's up, everybody? This is Dan Thompson from AroundTheAssociation.com, and this is the playoff preview edition of the podcast. And for the next few minutes, we're going to talk about everything in the Eastern Conference as we get ready for the Eastern Conference playoffs in the NBA playoffs that begin on Saturday. So, I'm here, like I said, follow me on Twitter at Danny, D-A-N-N-Y, the number 3, Thompson on Twitter. Follow Around the Association, the Facebook page, which is Around the Association Radio. And also like and subscribe to the podcast that you can find on Spreaker, iTunes, every other podcasting site you can pretty much find AroundTheAssociation.com. So, the Eastern Conference playoffs begin, all NBA playoffs begin on Saturday, but we're going to talk this edition about the Eastern Conference and the 8 teams involved in the Eastern Conference playoffs. The top seed team is the Milwaukee Bucks, as we all know, the team with the best record in the NBA in the regular season, led by the guy that's going to win the NBA MVP and the guy who also has Coach of the Year in Mike Budenholzer. Giannis Antetokounmpo leads the Milwaukee Bucks into the open round series against a shorthanded. And I say shorthanded because Blake Griffin's not healthy Detroit Pistons team, and that series begins on Sunday in Milwaukee. So we look at this series really, to be honest with you, the Bucks, yes, they're injured, but the Pistons are potentially missing their best player. The Bucks come into the playoffs led by Giannis, also have All-Stars Chris Middleton. You have Eric Bledsoe at the point guard, so you have a really, really good big three. Sterling Brown and Tony Snell have taken the two guard position and stepped their play up since the injury of Malcolm Brogdon. They have Ersan Ilyasova on the back line in the front as a starter. Brook Lopez, one of the best three-point shooting big men in the league, and also one of the better shot blockers and defensive presence in the league at the back line. Mike Budenholzer's turned this team from a team that won 44 games last year to a team that won over 60 this year. This team has changed themselves defensively. They're playing at a faster pace, and they're actually knocking down shots. The scary part about the Bucks team is that this is not the best Bucks team. Like I said, they're missing key guys in rotation. No Malcolm Brogdon, no Pau Gasol, and also no Nikola Mirotic for the opening round at least. And when they have all those guys healthy, you can only imagine how even much better the Bucks can become. Brogdon's such an underrated defender, but look what's on the floor. Bledsoe has to get over last year's playoff series where he got outplayed by Terry Rozier and Rozier ended up with the nickname Scary Terry because he basically outplayed a veteran Bledsoe. Bledsoe got the big deal this summer. He got a big contract during the season to stay in Milwaukee. Now he has to earn every dollar of it. Going against the Pistons team, like I said, is shorthanded. And when I say shorthanded, they're missing arguably the second most important player in the Eastern Conference, Blake Griffin. Griffin's not healthy. Griffin has been battling knee issues for a good number of time, a good length of time right now, and is lingering to the opening round. He was limited in the last couple of games due to the knee injury. I think he played 18 minutes in a crucial game right before the season ended and missed a few games due to that knee injury. It's an injury that's not going to get better, but potentially it's not going to get worse. It's all about pain management. Can Griffin manage the pain? Because otherwise, if he can't manage the pain, the Pistons might have a pain in themselves trying to figure out what they're going to do without their all-star power forward. Nothing against Andre Drummond, who's one of the NBA's best rebounders, especially on both ends of the floor, and also one of the best shot blockers, is having one of his better seasons in the league. The Pistons are going to struggle offensively. Reggie Jackson's either good or bad. If good Reggie Jackson's playing, then the Pistons could do a lot offensively. If bad Reggie Jackson's in the game, you'll see a lot of Ish Smith. Luke Kennard's come on of late of knocking down shots, and he becomes a huge X factor. If Kennard's hitting his shot consistently from the outside, and you get Wayne Ellington knocking down shots off the bench, the Pistons can actually have some motor and firepower to go against the Bucks. Like I said, Bledsoe's the X factor in the series because Bledsoe needs to show up, and he gets a good first round matchup with Reggie Jackson. What does this mean? AKA Blake Griffin not healthy, AKA the series is sweep. Bucks in 4 games. The 2-7 matchup, the Toronto Raptors taking on the Orlando Magic. You have the Toronto Raptors team that's making the playoffs with a completely different roster. The Raptors finally entered the playoffs in a post-LeBron James Eastern Conference. The Raptors should have been in the finals a couple of times, but they ran into LeBron James every year in the playoffs. Now that Thanos is out, gone to the West Coast and didn't even make the playoffs this year, the Raptors are now in line and inclined to make the NBA Finals. Led by Kawhi Leonard, the Claw, Pascal Siakam, who's the most improved player in the NBA, All-Star Kyle Lowry. They bring on the big Spaniard Marc Gasol they got late in the season to trade, Ibaka, Fred VanVleet, Danny Green they got in the trade as well too. Norman Powell. This team is loaded and ready to win. The only difference is that OG Anunoby's out with an emergency appendectomy the next 2 weeks. It was really emergent. And it takes one of the guys away from rotation. But really, the Raptors with Nick Nurse behind the helm are built to win now. Leonard is really, this might be Kawhi's best chance to win. Also, at the same time, this might be the Raptors' best chance to make the NBA Finals because they've never gotten past the Eastern Conference Finals. They're going against a team in Orlando. I'll be the first one to tell you that I didn't think the Magic would be a playoff team. I thought this team was going to win around 27, 28 games in the regular season based on the roster they have. But once again, Steve Clifford has the ability to turn a decent roster into a playoff roster. He does it everywhere he goes. Clifford should be known as the coach whisperer. The Magic had a humongous improvement, not only making the playoffs, they won the Southeast Division. Led by All-Star Nikola Vucevic, Terrence Ross, who's been just almost hitting every single three-point shot he's taken. And he also set the NBA record for most three-pointers made by a guy who started 0 games in the NBA. He hit over 200 of them and didn't start not one single game. Vucevic is an all-star. Aaron Gordon has become much more of an all-around threat, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Evan Fournier is one of the more underrated scorers in the NBA, especially in the fourth quarter. They have a DJ Augustin at point guard who's shooting the best of his entire career. And Jonathan Isaac, who is my X factor in the series for the Magic. If Isaac is hitting shots, especially from the corner three-pointers, the corner wings, it makes the Magic even more deadly. The problem is, outside Terrence Ross, the Magic can't score off the bench. Michael Carter-Williams isn't a scorer, Weston Wandu is a defensive player, and Ken Burch does all the little things, but he does not score the basketball. If Terrence Ross' shot is not falling, the Magic can't really win any of these games. I love the Magic, but the problem is, it is the worst possible matchup for them in the first round. Playing the Raptors, who is focused and locked in, this is not the matchup they wanted, especially if Ross is not scoring. Good news for Magic fans is this is a success if they get back to Game 6, but realistically, the series is over in 5. Raptors might even sweep the series. It's just a bad matchup. Not to say Magic are a bad team. It's just a bad matchup for the Magic right now. But you have to give the Magic credit for what they've done. They're one of the top 5 teams in the NBA since the end of January. Like I said, it'd be a success to get back to 6, but I have the Raptors in 5. The 3-6 matchup will be the series that starts off the NBA playoffs on Saturday, which would be the Sixers taking on the Brooklyn Nets. This series is the wrong match. It's like I said, when they say bad matchups for teams, this is a bad matchup for the Philadelphia 76ers. Number one, Joel Embiid's not healthy. He potentially could miss Game 1 with the same issues he's had for the entire season that's caused him to have load management, quote unquote, up until this point. He could even be missing Game 1, and this could be, if this opens up Game 1, this could be a train wreck for the Sixers, who have put together an outstanding starting 5 with a horrible bench. This is where they miss Ersan Ilyasova. This is where they miss Marco Bellinari and Dario Saric from the team they had last year coming off the bench because there is little to no firepower off the bench. Brett Brown, not known for his great substitution patterns either, has not figured out how to stagger Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler with the second unit or JJ Redick with the second unit. He's going to have to figure this out because of TJ McConnell, Shake Milton, Amir Johnson, Yonah Bolden, Jonathan Simmons, and Boban Marjanovic are your guys in rotation on the bench. You're in trouble, especially against the Nets team who is second in the NBA in bench scoring, led by Spencer Dinwiddie, who gets around 17 points a game off the bench. I had mentioned the fact that D'Angelo Russell's having the best year of his career. He's an all-star. He is going into free agency, and you don't think a big series will solidify the fact that he will get a match contract July 1? It's all the time for it. The other part is the Sixers struggle in pick and roll defense, and especially at Embiid is going to be a problem in this series. The Nets knock down threes at a very, very high rate. Don't forget, Joe Harris led the NBA 3-point percentage. Russell can hit him. Dinwiddie can hit him. Damari Carroll can hit him. They have guys who can hit 3-pointers as well. The real question is, can they keep the Sixers off the glass? Guys like Jared Allen, Ed Davis, can they control the glass, especially when Embiid's in the game? Because if Embiid's healthy, they can't stop him. Who wins the series? Yes, the Sixers have the best starting five, and really, when you have Tobias Harris, Jimmy Butler, JJ Redick, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid as a starting five, it should be a no question. But the NBA is not played by 48 minutes of guys without substitutions. If Embiid's not completely healthy, the series becomes wide open. And unless Ben Simmons somehow develops a jump shot within the next 3 days, or next couple hours, it's going to be a lot harder than what it is. I'm taking the Sixers and 7 only because Embiid hasn't been ruled out of the series. If Embiid is going to miss a significant time, the Nets can win the series. That's just how it is. 4-5 matchup, Boston taking on Indiana. Really, in this series, it's about the Celtics having more guys who can get buckets against a team that really is a team that's missing the guy that you know that can get the shots down the stretch. The Celtics have Kyrie Irving. They have a team that made the Eastern Conference Finals last year. On top of Irving, who is one of the better four-core scorers, they have Jaylen Brown. You have Gordon Hayward. You have Jason Tatum. You have Al Horford. You have Marcus Morris, who's having the best career of his year coming off the bench. You have Terry Rozier. You have a multitude of guys that they can get things done. Aaron Baines, who's always been a quality guy in the playoffs because he does the little things. They're going to miss Marcus Smart in the playoffs. They're going to miss him in the opening round. The oblique injury will keep him out at least round 1. Hopefully he's back for round 2. Kind of the same thing last year. They didn't have him. This is the time for Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum to finally find themselves and to have not having the seasons that we expected from them in years 2 and number 3 in their NBA careers. It's time for them to step up completely. On top of that, Kyrie Irving is going to have to get his other guys involved. Gordon Hayward looks healthier and healthier, and back to the Gordon Hayward by each and every single game. Going against the Indiana team that is missing their star player, we've known Victor Oladipo down for a long time. Even though Bojan Bogdanovic has stepped his play up through the playoffs, it's really been who else is going to do it. Miles Turner has this ability to change games. One, because he's the best shot blocker in the NBA, led the league in shot blocking. But 2, he actually can step out and range himself out to the 3-point line. If he's hitting shots, Sabonis has been a terror off the bench as a 6th man, especially averaging close to a double-double. They have a whole bunch of quality guys that can do little things. Thad Young, Darren Collison, Wesley Matthews, Tyreek Evans, Corey Joseph, Doug McDermott. They have guys who can contribute. If Bogdanovic turns into that guy in the playoffs that he's been showing down the stretch of games, this is going to be a better series than people make it out to be. Unfortunately, I'm just not 100% confident in the Pacers that they can find a guy that can go bucket for bucket with Kyrie Irving late in games. I like the Boston Celtics in a 6-game series. Celtics in 6. So, for my Eastern Conference playoff edition in the preview, who do I have in the first round? Once again, I'm taking the Bucks in a sweep. I'm taking Celtics in 6. I'm taking Sixers in 7, and I'm taking the Raptors in 5. How's the rest of the year for the conference playoff? I'll give that to you as well too. After round 1, you're going to have the Bucks and the Celtics. The Celtics should have Marcus Smart back. We're not sure about all the injuries for the Bucks. That makes a huge difference when you have your best defensive player back, especially when you're dealing with guys like Eric Bledsoe. You're dealing with Chris Middleton on the wing. The Celtics have a little bit more firepower this series. Giannis might be the best player, and Buddy Hield might be the best coach. Boston has the best full team all the way around. I like the Celtics in 7 games over the Bucks. Raptors, Sixers. The longer this draws out, who knows how healthy Embiid's knee is going to be, and the Raptors are going to feast on the fact that Embiid's not in the game. The Raptors bench will outplay the Sixers in almost every single category in the series. Kawhi Leonard will shut down Jimmy Butler or Tobias Harris, whoever that Nick Nurse puts on him, and Siakam will do the same to the other one. Siakam is huge in the series. I like the Raptors in 6 games over the Sixers, only because the Sixers can win games because of their starting 5. I like the Raptors in 6. Eastern Conference Finals, Raptors, Celtics. This is the 2 best teams in the Eastern Conference all year. I know the Bucks have the best record, but these are the 2 best teams in the Eastern Conference all year. It's going to come down to, can Kyle Lowry rise to the moment against Kyrie Irving? It's basically even matchup everywhere else. Can Kyle Lowry do it? This is going to be a career-defining moment for the 32, 33-year-old point guard at this moment, going against the best point guard in the Eastern Conference, Kyrie Irving. Celtics in 7. Irving gets it done. Irving gets the Celtics back to the finals, and they'll be waiting for a certain team in the Western Conference, which I'll name on another podcast later on. So, to recap, the Boston Celtics will win the Eastern Conference. I don't see any major upsets except for Brooklyn potentially in round 1. The Celtics will beat the Bucks in 7 games in round 2. So, I want to know your thoughts and opinions on my playoff predictions. Am I right? Am I wrong? Did I think your team? Did I undervalue your team? Did I overvalue your team? Let me know in the comments below. Follow me on Twitter at Danny3 Thompson. Also on Facebook, follow the Raleigh Association Facebook page at Raleigh Association Radio. And also keep a tab on us on our website, which is RaleighAssociation.com. So I'll catch you guys later. This is Danny Thompson, Raleigh Association. Peace.
Yeah, what we talking about? 94 feet, crossover bodies dropping J's up. Players this elite, your shots on body blocking halftime. We break it down, we gon' call your bluff, it's past time. You recognize, we got the heat down in Florida with the keys. Guess we the best, magic, we flash with them fans listen, won't see the best. Show rise from the airwaves like all stars in them stairways. Local rockin', we not stopping, got hot topics like every day. Them trades hit that deadline, my team chasing the big rings, we ball, check that headline. Don't mess it up when you pick teams. The only station giving y'all that info with that real talk.